You can run super fast, jump super far, hit super hard, and time is slowed down. And then you just pretty much walk around like, oh god, Quicksilver from X-Men.
Yeah, it's been a while since I got into some Fallout games, but I usually, I even liked like Shelter and stuff, like Fallout Shelter. That was quite the little like sim game, I guess. I don't know. I was into it real hardcore for a while.
Shelter was pretty fun actually for being just a little like mobile game.
I haven't tried that out. Might have to give it a shot.
I actually downloaded it to the Xbox. It's a little more crisp on console, and you can use your whole TV. It's pretty nice.
Oh, I didn't even realize you could do that with Shelter. That's cool.
Oh, Logus showed up. He's just going, okay, well, shit. I guess we'll get this recap underway. Last session began on the upper floors of a ducal manor within the Shadowfell, in the aftermath of a successful battle. The party quickly venture to the lower levels of the manor and slay the vampire Nayla in her resting place, extinguishing a nearby blazing brazier. Returning to the main floors, though now blanketed in a familiar haze or fog, the party revisited and relooted a few rooms and decided to rest within Blade's hut. After patching a few wounds, some dialogue, a bit of magic from Blade, and a prayer from Locris, the party deduced that they would have to replace the fallen leadership of Raptor, a city within Shadowfell, in order to progress to their goal. With the town currently enveloped in mist, chaos ensued. Vampires, ghouls, giant spiders, and more descend upon the people. Fires are started. The Knights of Penance are holding the peace in at least a portion of the city. It is there that the party kind of stealthily makes their way towards Stan's pub. It is here that Pikir, a bully, ruffian, and tormentor of Locris in life, notices Locris and greets him, even offers to buy him and his comrades drink. Though coldly, the party accepts his offer and heads into Stan's pub. Pikir plies them with drinks and information for a time before being asked to give the party some space, which he does. As the party discusses amongst themselves what to do next, a commotion outside draws their attention. A trio of factions trying to decide amongst themselves who will be elected a new leader. Vampires, ghouls, and the Knights of Penance. The Sands of Justice seemed to cast the deciding vote as they slew the former leadership. However, in a twist of fate, it was the mortal men elected to the position. Arthur, a leader amongst the villagers, is elected by 3 out of 4 votes. Quickly thereafter, the ritual to relight the brazier commences and returns the city to somewhat normalcy by warding off the mist. The party trades some dialogue, gives some advice to the new leadership before acquiring these radiant lanterns that they needed for mortals to safely traverse the realm. After getting some directions, the party heads out. They approach the outskirts of the city. The thick mist parts before them to reveal a faint road leading forth. And that is kind of where we are now. So, as you guys are making your way out of the city and the mist parts before your eyes, the road that kind of leads out of Raptor is definitely faint. It's like ash-colored road, but there's a lot of black ash-colored earth and sooty-like colors all around. So the natural landscape does almost camouflage this road from afar. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you might not be able to find it. Aside from that, as you guys kind of head out of town, shouting from behind you, racing towards the party. A familiar face, Pikir, as he shouts out, "Wait a minute!" And he huffs and puffs, and he finally kind of catches up to you a lot, and he's like, "Hold on a second. I've got a bit of a proposition. Can I take a moment of your time?" And he's talking specifically to you, Locris.
What the fuck do you want?
So, I know that things have not been great for between you and I, and I'm at this point. Time doesn't really move as fast for undead, but at the very least, I'd like to offer what services I can, and if any iota of any bit of relief or stress or anything that I can aid, even if it is in the smallest of ways, I will be happy to acquiesce your request. You see, serving the Dusk Mother, I'm kind of a bit of a revenant, so it stings a bit when I come back, but nonetheless, I heard your comment back there in the bar, and I feel like I didn't do right by you in life. I've lived down in Shadowfell for about 80 years now, and well, I've been this me a lot longer than I was the me up top, and I've been spending the whole time trying to repent, I guess. So it's very rare for someone to actually be able to help in any way, shape, or form for somebody they've harmed on the surface world. So, well, you notice that he's carrying a large kind of backpack. He looks like he's packed, like, and set for, like, to travel. And as he takes this backpack off, he sets it on the ground with a loud clank, and he begins pulling stuff out of it. At first, a bunch of chains, a few lengths of rope, some more chains with hooks on them. Looks like to be some like rusty metal bear traps. He throws out what appears to be a couple sets of various like butcher tools and things. He just kind of throws it out, and he says, "Well, if it'll make any bit of anything better, I would acquiesce your request. I'll be resurrected next dawn. If you think any of these taking a shot at me here and now might make you feel better, even in the slightest, emotionally or physically, I am here to serve Our Lady of Penance." So
I pull out my Morning Star and I smash him in the face.
excellent. You with one fell swoop managed to just crush his skull, and he kind of slumps backwards to the ground.
And I'll smash a few more times. Piss on his body. Gather up his shit, throw it in my bag of holding. No, it's still not good enough. All right, let's move forward.
So after like the probably the second or third blow, he actually, his body completely turns to ash. It's not like, you could gather up the pile of ash and take it with you if you'd like. But aside from the items he kind of set forth, tools of the trade, if you will, his body doesn't actually remain. But alas, you're welcome to any of the random effects that he laid out.
Yeah, nope, I'll piss on the ash since his body disappeared. Yeah, I'll just grab, if you could drop what it was, and I'll just throw it in the bag of holding for now and sort later.
Anyone else? Glad he finally got closure on that situation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was a little hard to watch. I had to turn away at one point. Pretty brutal, but no judgment here.
Yeah. If he comes back, I'm gonna do it again.
Excellent. Let's see here. As you guys kind of turn to make your way through this mist, you kind of notice more of the same of when you had entered the mist. It's that it looks like there at one time was maybe a major city here. You guys kind of walk down this old road and with just like dilapidated and burnt and semi-destroyed buildings on either side of the road. And as you guys kind of make your way out of this large city towards like the countryside, you do kind of notice, these the occasional feral humanoid or perhaps feral undead, zombie or ghoul will be kind of roaming around, and they'll stop and look at the party. But as you guys have these lanterns, look for maybe a second or two, and then they just kind of shrug and move along. They do not seem interested in investigating further. So, as you guys make your way out of the city proper, this faint road kind of turns to into a forest. What you had seen in the city are these small black shrubs, these small black bushes that were very knotty and branchy and didn't seem to support a lot of life, often only having a leaf or two with a single berry. These trees seem to be a similar plant, or even maybe the same plant, just on a larger scale. They are equally this dark, black, twisted, knotted wood. The branches kind of stretch out and seem very barren. There is the occasional leaf or two, and the entire tree might support a single berry. So it is kind of like slim pickings, but you do kind of see a little bit of the natural foliage as you make your way through this kind of forest, and the mist does just kind of part around you. You notice that while you remain in the light, the mist does not seem to be able to penetrate it, and you guys kind of make your way down the road. I'm gonna need somebody to roll me just a raw d20 for a encounter check. So roll well. I'm sure I could dig up a dragon if I had to.
Let's hope Seven doesn't immediately summon the shadow dragon that ate Logus's dad.
Oh man, 7 was Tiamat. No, I'm just kidding. So as you guys kind of make your way, you noticed the blood star, this giant red star, or red sun rather, does kind of peak, and you get a real good look at your surroundings. It thins the veil of mist while it is up and about, and for 2, maybe 3 hours, this orange or this red orb kind of arcs across the sky and gives light to the landscape before plunging everything back into darkness as it descends. Shortly after dusk, with the darkness return, not quite taking full effect, but slowly returning, you guys walk forward, and you hear a ruckus kind of off in the woods. You hear the loud creaking of wood and splashing, and then some a loud squeal and a quick snap, and as you guys kind of progress down the road and look out, what you see is a herd of skeletal minotaurs. They are off in the forest, maybe a couple hundred yards from the road itself, and they look to be feeding on something. And as you guys kind of walk by, they notice you and they perk up. Two or three just kind of stare as one holding a zombie in one hand bites it clean in half and swallows it, and the upper half of the zombie just kind of falls into the rib cage of this large skeletal minotaur. But as they slowly watch you pass, they look to be probably knee deep. These are pretty tall creatures, 10, 11 feet. They look to be knee deep or so in like a swampy muck. And as these guys slowly watch you go past, chewing something, similar to how a cow would chew cud, just kind of watching you guys slowly moving their head, 3, maybe 4 more crashes come out of the water as 3 or 4 more of these skeletal minotaurs emerge. Some of them carrying, a feral humanoid or two. And they kind of also stop mid-meal and watch the party walk on. As you kind of leave the minotaurs behind, it seems that the splashing and snapping kind of continues, but it does eventually fade off behind you. And after a full day of travel, you guys find yourselves asking the question. About 24 hours on the road, and you seem to be in the thick of it, somewhere in this, a vast forest. So the question is, do you press on or do you make camp?
So we've already like essentially gone through like full days worth of travel. So like pushing on, we might get a little sleepy.
I would say at this point it's almost 24 hours or so since you departed. The blood star will be returning to the sky again shortly, and it only is in the sky for 2 or 3 hours a day. So you guys know you've been traveling for roughly 24 hours. So you can press on, make camp. Your call. Tell me.
Well, what are you guys thinking? I mean, should we rest here or keep pushing forward? I mean, it might be dangerous to sleep here, even with the lanterns, but at the same time, if we keep pushing forward, we might exhaust ourselves a little bit.
It's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. I mean, neither of us are battered or bruised. We're really just running the risk of being a little tired. So, kind of the mindset of trying to push on. Plus, those minotaurs let us pass, but it's not to say that they're not gonna come looking for us later. I'd rather put some distance.
That's
I mean,
fancy.
once again, I could potentially send up Archie and just see if there's maybe any nearby settlements or anything around us.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
can do something with that too.
Wait, what?
Cast a spell I just picked up. God damn, where'd I write it down at? I'm able to summon 3 familiars for the span of 1 hour.
Oh shit!
And I can see through their eyes and communicate with them for up to a mile.
3? That's wild.
That's pretty wild.
New source book. I sent it to Sean. So yeah, I'll pull up like 3 bats.
Okay, yeah. 3 bats would be easy enough to summon here in the Shadowfell. So as three bats kind of come into your service and seem to just kind of almost erupt out of the shadows from nowhere, begin circling around you. How do you proceed?
Or it's 10 minutes. So I send them each 10 minutes in three separate directions.
Okay, give me three separate perception checks.
Hold up. Sorry, my kids are still up and
Oh, good. That was funny more than anything.
It was great.
I gave them headphones so that they wouldn't be noisy and well,
I was dancing.
it's fine. Was it summon familiars? What's Archie's perception?
Oh shoot, I got to bring up the owl stat block, but he does have advantage on it. Well, on perception checks.
I think that's what it is. I haven't used this yet, and I was still okay.
He's got a +3.
Yeah, so because I've used this the same as a find familiar spell. So I guess I just use a bat, huh? It's a brand new toy, so I don't have it figured out yet.
The bat perception is, well, it says blind sight 60 feet, but it didn't actually give me a perception in the monster manual or whatever.
All right, well, it's a +1. So.
Okay.
But they also have advantage on hearing, so I'd assume they're able to hear for city noise because I'd be listening through them.
There's also like 3 of them too, aren't there?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
So one of them is a nat 20 for 21. One has a 5 and one has a 14.
So as far as you can tell, there are no immediate structures in the area, but it does look like those minotaurs are like herding a pack of these like feral humanoids. It looks like they're hunting them. It looks like they're using like kind of like primitive tactics and whatnot, but they are corralling these humanoids for consumption, presumably.
Okay, so there doesn't seem to be any towns nearby. However, those skeletal minotaurs apparently are human ranchers or zombie ranchers or whatever the hell. They're gathering them all up and, I don't know, probably going to eat them later. So we either keep moving towards the tower or we duck down. But there's nowhere nearby we can just wait out an hour or two.
My vote's with Renwick there. I think we should move forward. Those Minotaur kind of make me uneasy.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't mind adding us to their collection.
All right, so press on it is. And now the second time for you guys being on the road, the blood star comes into the sky and kind of reveals all around you the dark sooty soil, these black twisted trees. It looks very damp, and there's outright puddles of water, not only kind of in the road, but sometimes off on the side of the road that could be considered small ponds rather. and they are, just like the thickest, goopiest, blackest water. It just does not look safe or sanitary. But as you guys proceed, go ahead and somebody roll me another d20 for another encounter check.
Well, my Avery rolls have only been going up. It was a 6,
Good.
an 8 before the session, and an 11 now.
Excellent. She's warming up to you, or maybe she's just trying to put your faith in there so she could screw you over later.
I'll do that.
So, as you guys, as the Blood Star comes into the sky for a little bit, just to kind of give you guys a good view of your surroundings, it sets again only a few hours later, and as it sets, it begins to rain. First, a light drizzle, but then just a downpour, an outright downpour. It is unpleasant. It is cold. It is absolutely saturating. Like, this rain is soaking you to the bone, and for whatever reason, your magical gear, your magical cloaks, your armor and things that were, even your adventurer clothing, things that typically keep the weather out, just struggle to do so here. And it is a cold, wet, miserable jaunt forward. Everybody, go ahead and give me some Constitution saving throws versus exhaustion.
Sorry, guys. Oh, but
We get a +3 from you, right?
yeah, I'm assuming as we travel, we're all relatively close. So as long as they're within 10 feet.
Yeah, you could definitely spread your aura thusly,
Has my aura increased for that one?
That's a 23 for Renwick.
Pass for sure.
Kylo.
Con save, you said?
Correct.
$18 for Locris.
17 for Glader.
Both pass.
Oh boy.
17 for Blade as well.
Also a pass. How about
You
Logos?
said we get a +3, right?
Correct, from Gladier's aura.
22 then.
Excellent. The weariness of traveling for over 24 hours does not seem to affect anyone in the party. You guys press on despite this absolutely soaking cold, stinging rain. And as you guys do so, putting miles and miles of earth behind you, I'm going to say go ahead and give me a perception check as a party. I mean, individuals. You could do it. All of you could do one. One of you guys could give somebody advantage, etc.
Gladiator gives Logos advantage.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and give the help
No.
action.
You
No,
just
go
pick
ahead-
up
go ahead,
Logos
David.
so he could get a better view of everything
Yeah,
around him.
exactly. I'll pick him up and hold him in the air and kind of just slowly rotate in a circle.
$31.
Oh, wow. Okay. You see everything. As you're kind of looking around and continuing, just staying observant, you notice a bit of what appears to be like a white cloth at first, kind of flapping in the wind. It catches your eye. It's not but maybe 5-10 feet from the road. And as you look, it is a bit of clothing. It looks like a shirt or maybe a blouse or something that have been tied to a couple of branches of one of these knotty trees, and it's underneath this bit of clothing. You see three grays that are currently huddled together, They look between the lot of them to have very meager clothing, literally rags, loincloths, and tattered socks between all three of them. And they are huddled together under this shirt and blouse, and they are just kind of huddled and shivering. And you can tell that right away with that kind of score, these are grays, but they do not look healthy. Usually when you see the grays, they're kind of plump and dumb and bumbling along. These grays look like a lot leaner. They look like they haven't had the leisure of living in some place like Raptor. They look quite rough, but alas, they are all kind of huddled together and looking downward, just kind of taking this rain, and they do not seem to notice the party as you guys pass by.
It appears we've stumbled on the saddest circle jerk of all time, boys.
Do we care at all about these grays?
Nope,
I mean,
if they're here. They probably didn't. They probably got here a different way. So screw 'em.
yeah, they probably don't have a master. They probably just got lost and wandering around and starving to death, and so they probably can't help us. And as long as they don't see us, even if they do have someone they're reporting to, I mean, as long as they don't see us, we should be good.
If I might, I believe. Yeah, I can always cast minor illusion and fool them into at least walking back toward Raptor.
Yeah, I mean, at least get them away from us.
But at least clear our conscience, but we don't have time to really deal with them, so
At this
think it's-
point, I think you would know. After a day's worth of travel, you guys have put 25, 30 miles between you and Raptor at this point.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, well,
Well, they'll
I
make
mean,
good
we can't bring
effort.
them with us, and we can't point them in a good direction. So the best thing we can do is just let them keep surviving the way they have been.
Yeah, maybe they'll find someplace nice to hang out. Probably not, but you never know.
Well, the moral compass passed it, so I think we keep moving.
Yeah, this moral compass has been more on the side of caution than rather what's actually right. But I mean, we'll not argue with the group.
Well, we have very important tasks at hand that will help the greater good. So,
I don't know, Goldie. It seems that every time someone needs help, you're so willing to turn a blind eye. Is that you, or is that the world turning you cold?
yeah, we're not gonna think about that right now.
He's the paladin, but you've got a bit of a holier than thou attitude lately. You doing okay?
I just think that lately we're knights, sands of justice, yet we turn our eye to a lot of injustice when it seems to not suit us. And I don't know.
Well, define justice. Is justice allowing the poor man to starve, or is it being okay with him stealing the loaf of bread? Who's in the right? The thing is we have to make decisions about what we're trying to do. Do you sacrifice the life of 10 to save the life of one?
I just think that we know that Greys are not much of a threat, and handing them food is not going to hurt us at all. But I mean, I can understand both sides of the view. It's just we haven't. It's not being holier than thou, and like it's just we've let so many people die and so many things happen, and it kind of takes a toll on me after a while.
We've
It would
also
be,
saved countless lives at this point. We
it would,
overthrew a tyrant. We reversed what was effectively a plague.
It would be great if we operated in black and white. Good guys and bad guys, and everything's clearly defined and one trumps all. Unfortunately, the world is gray. It's a variant levels of gray.
No
So
pun
you have
intended.
to sometimes, yeah, pun fully not intended. But sometimes, well, you have to allow the trolley to kill one to save five. Action or inaction, it's still action.
Plus, the Minotaur get a full belly out of it. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, who knows?
Well-
Maybe the body parts fall back out, reassemble, and they do it all over again. Or we didn't ruin a good time.
Sean, other than them just being three grays, there's nothing significant about them, right? They're just three grays.
Yeah, they don't seem to have any like worthwhile equipment. The only most of the clothing they have, they're kind of trying to use as a like makeshift shelter roof, poorly. But yeah, they just three grays. They look to be a bit leaner than the ones you guys seen, a little gaunt in their faces. But yeah, they don't even notice you guys in the dark and the beating rain. They are just kind of huddled together, shivering, kind of looking down, like leaning up against a tree, kind of trying to use it for what shelter they can.
Glader's gonna walk up to Logus, put his arm around his shoulder, and pull out a. How many do I have?
Kopesh.
Let's go slaughter him.
Kill shot? What?
PvP bit?
I'm trying to find my rations.
Oh, I thought he was talking getting ultimate revenge for that last nut slap or something.
No, he's saving that for the right time. Well, I don't think I actually have rations. I have. This almost seems insulting. I have. Oh wait, no. He'll turn to Logus and be like, "How many good berries can you make, real quick? While we head over there and we can hand him some good berries, so at least maybe we can't lead them to safety, but at least we're not leaving them high and dry."
Now, before you go walking over there and bringing these people into it, we know for a fact that all they do is waste our fucking time. So if you want to feed them, I can get behind that. But interacting with them is something we should not be doing. It's just going to slow us down, complicate things.
Yeah, I say we just walk up to him and be like, "Here, eat this one at a time." And
Or
then walk
you
up.
can just fucking chuck them where they can't see you, because if we start talking with them or they see us, they're probably going to follow us, and it's going to become a problem.
That too. Yeah, just let's put them in a. I'm gonna pull out like a I don't know a spare coin purse because we get coin like looted coins all the time. So I'm assuming I have like one tiny little satchel, like a just cloth fabric,
Sure, it
and
sounds you could find that in an adventurer's gear for sure.
like a little pouch. Just be like, Logus, can you make some good berries, and then we can just chuck it at them. They'll
I
figure it
always,
out.
I always have good berries on hand, and I'll put 3 good berries in there.
All right. Now, why don't you throw it because you're much better at that whole long distance
But you're
aiming.
stronger than me. You could chuck it further.
True.
Or you could drop it off, whatever you'd
How
like, or
did,
just hit it with an arrow.
what is the land? What's the landscape around, Sean?
Aside from the road looks pretty clear, but there's like some puddles kind of developing due to the heavy rain. But aside from that, you're essentially in this forest of dark, twisted trees, this gnarled, rooty kind of tree, and some splish splashing and some mud and muck. But essentially, just kind of a rainy
So
forest.
it's dark here, right? Like there's no light at all.
The sun has set again, so yeah, it is pitch black at this point.
Ah, well, I'm invisible when it's nighttime due to my
Yeah.
Gloomstalker thing. So
Fade into the
uh,
shadows.
I'll just fade into the shadows, use the trees, and just unnecessarily cautious and jump from tree to tree, roll and slide and dip and dive. my way in. Before they know it, they have 3 good berries in their mouths.
You're gonna put it in their mouth for them?
Yeah, that's how freaking stealthy and fast I am.
All right, yeah. As you kind of bob and weave through the darkness, you go and pop some of these good berries into these or these not ghouls, but these greys' mouths, and
I've been duped.
they chomp and they kind of look confused, but you do see like an immediate change, like the kind of gauntness and like they almost look like out of breath and almost like scared to the point of being like feral in their eyes, as they kind of look around. But as they swallow these good berries, their fear kind of fades, their emotions become more docile, and they kind of hello, hello. One calls out as he kind of grabs the other two close, and they kind of huddled by their tree, kind of peer out into the darkness, confused, but grateful nonetheless.
I'll leave 3 more in that little pouch that Gladiator gave me. And as I move my way back to the group, I'll whisper in the wind, "Survive."
And
So they
he
so
kind
they
of
think
looks.
they're God.
He looks around. He reacts, but he doesn't. He can't quite pinpoint you in the darkness.
Okay.
Thanks for being patient with me, guys. I mean, I know lately I've been a pain in the ass, but it's it's daunting all the shit that we can't do and we should do and we have done. Kind of
But
takes a
look at
toll on the mind.
that. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, if we're able to, if we have the ability to do even just a little good thing like this, we shouldn't just ignore it.
The thing that I think is important to remember in times like this is we've come a long way. And back when we first got started, doing little things is all we really could do to make a difference. But given what we've become and the impact we've had, sometimes we're forced to give up those small chances to help, knowing that it leads to helping a lot more. I mean, that's how we overthrew the Silver Queen. That's how we ended the graying back in Borsland. It's how we're going to continue to do things, and it doesn't feel great, but you have to allow yourself to take a step back and look at the big picture sometimes.
How
All right.
close are the Grang together?
They're definitely huddled together, and they're not very observant, but they're also kind of not really facing the road. If they were faced on the other side of the tree, they would see the road and the glowing lantern that encompasses you all in safety. But alas, they do not. And but they're probably 25 feet from the roadway itself, so maybe 30 feet from you guys.
But they're all huddled.
Yes, they are all cuddled together for warmth and shelter.
Perfect. I shatter at 5th level. No, I'm kidding about that.
Gore and viscera splatter through the swamp.
Nope, take backsies.
No, don't do it. I mean, I could. It would hurt. But I won't.
Was that going somewhere, or was that just curious? I didn't know if you.
No. I was just fucking around with that. That's all.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting all sentimental, and I was just like, let's fucking blow them up.
I thought you were gonna cast a spell or something.
No. There was some build up to that, but nothing came out of it.
Alas. So, as you guys kind of interact with these greys, press on for a few more miles, but eventually, once again, you're going to have to make that call. After another 24 hours or so on the road, you guys have to make the call of either press on or camp for the evening. The rain does eventually subside. It does eventually stop raining, though kind of chilled to your bones, and everything all around you, all the ground everywhere, is just sopping wet. You're splashing through puddles and mud and muck. But alas, tell me how you guys proceed.
I think we have to camp this time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think if we go any longer, we're going to be useless. Or
Yeah, I think we've been pretty lucky so far. We might as well give ourselves a break. I'm guessing, Blade, you can probably throw down a hut for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can control the temperature and lighting as you like.
yeah, maybe send Archie out on a quick scouting mission.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
Lokers, if you want to send out your bats too, we can have 4 eyes or 8 eyes out there. Just make sure nothing's like creeping and crawling around us.
And more importantly, I'd like the temperature to be about 66 degrees with a light breeze.
66. That's almost perfect knockout temperature.
That's a brewer joke.
I'll send out 3 owls this time.
And I will send a 4th.
All right, give me a pile of perception checks. We'll say you send them north, south, east, and west.
17 was my only decent one.
Nat 20 for a 23.
As the owls kind of do their recon and kind of circle the area, you do see the occasional feral humanoid kind of skittering through the wilderness here. Aside from that, some of the normal like crows and bats and things also kind of fluttering around. But for the most part, pretty barren. There's just not a lot of life here. And the ones that are, it's like a feral zombie or a feral ghoul or some other various, feral mortal humanoid. And they're few and far between.
I guess Blade will probably start making preparations for the hut and setting that up.
Okay, yeah. What's the hut look like this time? Are you putting it like in the road, off the side of the road, like up in a tree? Can you do that? I don't know.
I don't know if I can do it up in the tree. I'm just going to say probably off to the side of the road, maybe 20, 30 feet off. Kind of, if it had just rained, maybe the dirt is super wet. It just kind of, from the ground, erupts like this, almost like a mini den / cave out of mud. It just looks, yeah, like a little cave almost.
Excellent. As the blade concludes this spell, what are the rest of you doing?
I think Renwick would probably like kind of just scan the perimeter before heading into the hut to get some rest. And I think every now and then you might catch him like polishing his sword and staring at Locris from a distance because he's still not quite trusting.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Go ahead and give me a perception check there, Renwick, as you kind of scan the perimeter.
18.
Mostly barren trees. There's not a whole lot going on. You do notice a bit of insect life some of these buzzing, stinging insects seem to find you quite tasty. Something similar to a mosquito. Not quite enough to do a full point of damage, but enough to buzz, bite, and otherwise annoy. But aside from that, you don't see much.
And yeah, if the bugs start biting, he's just gonna look at Blade once the hut is up, and it's just like, guess I'm too sweet to stay outside. These bugs are eating me up. And kind of winks at him, and then just trots off into the hut.
Can I just turn and look at him as he's walking in? I won't say a thing, but I did cool it to 66 for him to see if he noticed it.
You know that feeling when it's super hot out, you spent like the day at the beach or the pool, and you like walk back into your house and the AC had kicked on like 10 minutes before you got home. That face of pleasure when the cool air first hits you, that's exactly what happens there.
That's all I needed.
As Renwick tests out the what is the oh, it's escaping me. Who's the heat company in Jay and Silent Bob's poop monster movie? Fuck, I forget. You know what I'm talking about? It was a super popular company in the 90s. Anyway, pop culture reference fail. So as you guys kind of get set up for the evening, anything in particular you guys need to do before claiming your long rest?
Before Logus goes to bed, he would just kind of look at his the star map that he drew while he was on the boat, and trying to see up in the sky here if there's stars. Just kind of lay there for a little while, kind of looking up at the sky. And is there any kind of stars up in the Shadow Realm, or is it just black?
So it's mostly just black, but when the blood star rises, the reason it's mostly just black is because you've never actually seen the blood star proper. The blood star, this red sun, kind of shines through thick overcast clouds, so it's not, you're never ever really getting like direct sunlight. And these overcast clouds just seem to be the upper atmosphere of Shadowfell. The sunlight never quite pierces it directly, though it does pierce enough to, bring light to the land for a few hours a day. It is very just kind of an overcast landscape, so it's very dark, very thick clouds.
That's all I would do before I imagine I'd probably take first rest and then take second and third watch.
I think Glader, having spent half his life in like the mountains, and then the other half of his life in a desert, and being very used to the sun, is not really enjoying this constant darkness. Other than the short spree of the red light, so he'd probably light a fire, like just a little small campfire in the center of the hut, um, just to get that some semblance of light, because he's probably missing the daylight and the sun, the actual sun.
Okay, yeah, you get a little fire going for yourself. It kind of helps warm the hut, you see Blade and Renwick, immediately adjust the thermostat to keep it at 66 degrees despite the fire. And but yeah, you kind of build yourself a nice little fire here. I have a question for the party as you guys are kind of bedding down. Who has the lanterns? Where are these glowing lanterns? These beacons that allow you to travel through the Shadowfell unmolested.
I believe we all took one, didn't we? Or did we have four?
We had 3, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's what the note says. I think.
I do believe
Yeah,
you have
that
3,
says
yes.
3 of the magical lanterns. Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming. I'm
We
guessing Loker's probably
had we had one on whoever was leading, whoever was at the very back, and then someone in the middle.
yeah. So Glader will take one. So his is probably just sitting next to him, like in the hut. Or should we leave them outside the hut, like circle it around the hut to try and ward anything off from getting too close, or is that too dangerous because maybe it disappears?
If the magic of the lantern is working from within the hut, then we can just keep them in here with us. I think it's risky to leave them outside, though.
Yeah, good idea. All right, yeah. So Glader's just kind of just like sitting right next to him as he's sitting in front of the fire, kind of just looking into it, enjoying the warmth and the light. And then whoever else wants the other two. Lokers or Logus probably would have been leading, I'm assuming. Because Loker's kind of your mission, and Logus has the good eyes.
I think it was me up front, Logus right behind, Blade in the middle. You taking up the rear?
Yeah, I normally take up the rear or the front. I'm never really in the middle. Yeah.
I bet you do.
Hell yeah, brother.
Pun intended.
Okay, so as these lights, these lanterns, just kind of emit, about a 60-foot radius or so, kind of keeping you safe. It does kind of shed a bit of light and warmth, that would kind of combine with the smell of the earthy campfire, as most of the wood you would get was probably a bit saturated, but this combined with the lantern and the fire, pretty warm, pretty smoky, gives it kind of a camp feel.
Later keeps like changing seats, like moving around the campfire, but every time he does, the breeze shifts and just keeps blowing smoke in his eyes.
So real.
Okay, Gladiator, go ahead and give me a perception check. Sorry.
Uh-oh. This ought to be good. That is 11 on the die for a 12.
You're essentially kind of posted up, taking first watch. You see your your companions kind of winding down. Renwick kind of getting comfortable. Blade and Logos just hanging out, and you even see like Locris kind of begin to maybe do some like meditation or something like. But let's see here. Yeah. What was that again? What was the score?
Well,
That's what I thought. Yeah. So essentially, you see your party kind of weary and restful, and just kind of brings you back. Almost a little reminiscent. You kind of have a bit of a flashback between similar circumstance, not only in the Alliance Islands but Hordenshire as well. But aside from that, all seems normal.
all right. Yeah, I think he would enjoy reminiscing and the deja vu and the memories that they formed, and then after his watch, probably shake up uh, Logus.
Is it my turn to watch?
Yeah, buddy. You and your weird wolf genes only needing a little amount of sleep time. I don't know how you do it.
We don't even sleep. We kind of just like meditate, go into a trance-like state. It's not necessarily sleep. It's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, I need my 8 hours. I'm just grumpy. So
But you're always grumpy, big grumpy
yeah,
pants.
yeah, shut up. He's gonna playfully punch you on the shoulder, then crawl into his bedroll, and then knock out.
Excellent. Yeah. Logos, you take over kind of watch. You kind of look over your weary and sleepy party. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$29.
I'm sorry, what was that?
29. 29. I rode in a ride here.
Oh, damn. Logos, all kind of seems normal. Everything seems, well, your party is definitely snoring it out. The maybe going for such a distance for so long without a bit of a rest. Kind of took it out of them. They're kind of not only are they snoring, you're pretty sure on more than one occasion, more than one of these guys cuddles out a fart. So. But aside from that, one thing you do notice there, Logos, is that sorry, hold on. I'm trying to maneuver my. There we go. Sorry, Logos. What you do notice is that Locris seems to be fond of the darkness spell lately, and he kind of like tucked himself in with it, essentially.
Oh, children.
Love them.
Okay, so you said that Locris has been fond of the darkness spell lately.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, Locris has been fond of this darkness spell lately, and you notice that he seems to value his privacy, but he shields himself briefly with the not himself rather, but some of like partially himself and some of his equipment and stuff. But using this darkness spell, you kind of peer through, and it just seems off-putting. I don't know, something is up with Locris. He you can't see what he's doing briefly due to this darkness spell, and you hear it, but you don't really mention it, but you do notice Locris doesn't seem to be sleeping that great, and the darkness spell kind of comes up randomly. It'll cover his gear, it'll cover his whole body. It makes him opaque and kind of hard to see.
What do I hear when he enters that darkness?
As you're kind of
Fapping.
it looks like he is having some fitful dreams, And yeah, he does not seem to be sleeping well. During this kind of watch, we'll fucking kind of spin over to Locris real quick. Locris, you do not sleep well at all. Your dreams come fitfully, and you see Jurassic in your dream, and it's like a weird angle. It's like everything's fuzzy. It's not quite in focus. You see him still bound by these pillars, and you hear people's words, but it sounds like they're underwater. Like it just things. There's a conversation. You just can't quite grasp it. And something out of the darkness, a twisting, crackling bolt cracks like a whip at Jurassic once again. A familiar scene, but this time, as the whip strikes, this smoke seems to like leave Jurassic's body. You see like almost like a piece of him has been cleaved off with this whip. And as this cleaving of the smoke from his body kind of you see the smoke get sucked towards a direction, towards an individual, somebody who's not in focus for whatever reason. But your attention immediately goes back to Jurassic. Whatever has just happened, it seems to have caused a reaction you've never seen before. He wails for the first time ever in your whole patronage. You have never heard this deity cry out in pain. And cry out he does. The sound of breaking glass and grating nails, and his body snaps once, twice, and then a third time. And you see he has become crystalline. He has become a diamond, still bound by these purple magical lash of like rope. And you hear the garbled noise once again, like someone speaking but underwater. And you hear you don't make out any of the words, but someone is upset. That was not supposed to happen, and they are pissed about it. It seems that they're frustrated at this. That's the vibe you get. And after this experience, you kind of you toss and turn all night, and when you do awake, you awake completely re-soaked. Not as if the rain the night before wasn't enough. You wake up covered in a pool of your own sweat. And Logos, you've shared a room with Locris before. Like the whole time, he's tossing and turning while you're watching him. It's sometimes it's abyssal, sometimes it's infernal. The name Jurassic Riven keeps coming up, and you've seen fits like this before, but maybe not so powerful. But the shadow spell does kind of seem to flicker around Locris while he sleeps.
Man, why doesn't this shit happen during Blade Year's watch? Why is it always me?
I mean, it probably did. I probably just didn't see it.
All right. Nothing happened outside, no movement or anything during the time though.
Correct. No movement or anything, just kind of the standard Shadowfell terrain.
When it gets close to time to wake up, kind of before everyone else, Logus is gonna kind of wake up Renwick maybe a little bit earlier than everyone else. Not enough to like mess up his full rest though.
Okay, yeah. As you are the second and third watch. So as dawn kind of approaches, the blood star rises once more. You could certainly prod Renwick awake first.
Hey, yeah, Renwood, it's almost time to get up. Haven't woken up everyone else, but I just wanted to ask your opinion on something. Kind of wait for him to shake off the crusties and stuff.
Well, shit, I thought you were waking me up for breakfast in bed, but go ahead.
Throw a good berry in his mouth as he's talking. um, you're someone who has like patrons and stuff. Um, Locust seems to be really going through it while he's sleeping. He keeps saying, I mean, his patron's name, and this time, for the first time I've ever seen him, he was casting darkness on himself over and over again throughout the night. Kind of worried about him.
Well, I could say that I have a similar experience, but the thing about patrons is each one of them's pretty unique. I mean, there's some overlapping features, but the nature of his bond with his patrons far different than the way I came about my powers. That being said, I mean, we know that his patrons imprisoned and being tortured, and perhaps he's not omnipotent or invincible. Perhaps it's finally wearing on him, and it seems like those effects are, well, they're manifesting in Lokris as he's attached.
I wonder if sometimes if the pain that his patron can feel, if Locust can feel it too.
But I wouldn't be surprised. It's a pretty unique and deep connection when you bond with a patron, especially one as powerful as Jurassic seems to be.
Ah, judging by the way Locust is reacting, I can tell why he's kind of been in a rush lately. It seems that his patron's not doing so well. Well, I guess we better get moving. And Locust is gonna like start waking everybody up.
All right, Logos and the rise of the Blood Star kind of bring everyone, rouse everybody, get everybody back on their feet, and as you guys kind of prepare to venture forward, let me ask another kind of technicality question. Gladier kind of brought it up earlier, but I mean, I assume Logos could probably supply the party with good berries if he needed to, but do you guys have like food and water rations for this travel?
I'm carrying a shitload of beads of nourishment that we got a while back, and beads of
So
refreshment. I think I have
yeah,
like eight, 8 or 9 of each, or something like that. I'd have to sit here and count them out.
I also have rations and I have a water skin full of wine and a water skin full of water.
Okay, noted. Just kind of keep track of it on your character sheets. If you consume some rations or some of these beads of nourishment, you'd probably have to get a bead of nourishment and a bead of refreshment, or perhaps some rations and a water skin daily. But you could be marching rations for sure.
Yeah,
As just as Locust wakes up Locust, he would have had some water for him, and since he's all sweaty and probably waking up dehydrated.
yeah. So speaking of that, I was gonna let you bring that up. Since I'm just getting up for the day, I'm preparing. I think later would Oh man, that's a lot of fucking water. Because I have create food and water, but or in containers within range. Okay. So how do we have an idea of how long this I don't think we really know how long we're gonna be traveling. We're just kinda going in the direction until we reach it, right? Or did we get a time frame?
You did not. You guys are about 50 miles from Raptor at this point.
So, how many beads of nourishment and refreshment well, we're good on food because we have good berries, but essentially we just need to make sure we have water. So how many beads of refreshment do we have? Because there's 5 of us. And if we need at least one a day, do we have enough for more than one day?
I have about 11 by my
Okay.
count.
Okay, so we
And I
have
think I passed some out to you guys, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but either way, I have 11 beads of refreshment, and then I have backup beads of nourishment in the event that we don't have good berries, I guess.
Yeah. Well, do we have an excess of water skins that I can just because I can create up to 30 gallons of water. So I mean that could last us a hot minute.
Well, I have
I have
2
3.
water skins and 1 full of wine.
I have one water skin.
I got.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I have 3.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys are covered. You could,
Yeah, I've
potentially
got a
burn
water
a
skin
spell
as well.
slot or something like that
Okay.
to keep you guys
Well,
in food and things.
yeah. So I guess if we're on the road for more than like another 2 days, like if we're on the road for a third day after today, then I can create water so we can just like refill our water skins and stuff. Because we got the good berries, so we're good on food.
We could just find a little cucumber to put in each water skin.
Yeah, I did not think to bring cucumber. Well, actually, no, I can create food and water. So I can create. How much food can I create? It's a fucking lot. I can't remember the exact measurement. But it's a lot. Let me see.
Cucumber.
If you
Food and
could
water.
magically create food, is it something specific, or is it like whatever you want? Like you could create a lasagna, or is it like baked bread only, or something? Like how does that work?
Yeah,
Dude,
it
if you make
says.
lasagna,
I don't think I can make lasagna. It says you create 45
fuck.
pounds of food and 30 gallons of water on the ground or in containers within range, enough to sustain up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds for 24 hours. The food is bland but nourishing and spoils if uneaten after 24 hours. The food is clean and doesn't go bad. So, I mean, I would say a cucumber is. I mean, I
It's
think that could
bland.
count as bland but nourishing. So I could
Tec-
create 45 pounds of cucumbers.
And technically, anything can be bland if it's not made right.
True.
Okay, yeah, you create a shit ton of cucumbers if you'd like, for sure.
And then we just, chop them up, put it in our water skins, and we got cucumber water.
Fuck yeah, so nourishing.
And then Gladiator sits on them.
Wait, what?
Whoa, wait, what?
You want me to sit in Wow.
I mean, I know 45 pounds of cucumbers not all going in the water. I don't know what you're doing with the rest. I'm just,
Listen, you're the one who has everyone crawling into their magical hole. So if anything, the cucumbers are going in your hole.
and next time, just bring the cucumber. We'll get wild.
Oh, that's a
Alright.
big one. Save it for Tilly.
Wait, Sean, if
Yes.
it comes to this, instead of 45 pounds of cucumbers, would you let me create one 45-pound cucumber?
Of
Don't.
course.
Don't do it.
All right, cool. That's all I need to know. But yeah, I won't prepare that yet. But if we're getting low on our supplies, I do have that option to get us water.
It's
Oh,
James
Um,
and the giant cucumber.
in a
we're
tank.
gonna fucking drop a cucumber on somebody's head, dude.
That's actually not, Sean, you already said I can create one 45-pound cucumber. Now I can use it as an attack.
Drop it from the sky or something.
It has a range of how many feet? Shit. I keep closing out of it, and then needing to go back.
Didn't it say like on the ground or in a container?
Oh no, you're right. It does say on the ground or in a container. So
So you could grow a 45-pound cucumber real quick.
underneath them really fast, and then it'll shoot up to uncomfortable place for them.
Potentially.
Shit.
We'll work it out. We'll workshop it.
All right, all right.
Have you done, Sean?
Enough derailing.
So, as you talk of cucumbers and cucumber water, you guys kind of pack up and continue to venture forth. And as the blood star rises and reveals that you're still in this gray, ashy kind of trail that cuts through this dark, twisted, knotted forest, go ahead and somebody give me another d20 roll.
Y'all are rolling ass tonight.
I think low rolls aren't a bad thing because nothing has really happened. So, like, we walked past some centaurs and there was some rain, but we walked through that. Luckily, we haven't been attacked by anything.
Except 6 was the dragon that attacked Logus's father.
6 was actually the Tarask. Sorry, guys. No. So as you guys kind of continue down the road, the Blood Star comes to greet you for a couple of hours, and most of your journey is after that sets, and you press on and through the darkness. As you guys, the miles kind of start adding up, something strange. You see what appears to be almost like a road sign, a pillar with strange carvings, only a foot or two off of the road as you guys kind of approach. Tell me how you proceed.
So what's in front of us?
Only a foot or two off of the road, there appears to be almost like a road sign. As you guys kind of approach, you look at this. It's more like a totem pole, rather. It's got several different totems kind of carved in it from top to bottom, and it's scrawled, and it looks like a bunch of different carvings carved all over this rather large roadside pillar totem pole.
Can we determine the figures carved in or what it says?
I'm pretty sure you speak Abyssal, correct?
Yes.
As you kind of approach this little pillar, go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll give you the basics no matter what, but we'll see what you get.
Can Renwick also take a look at it? I have Eyes of the Runekeeper, one of my Eldritch invocations, so I can read all writing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Excellent.
Less than that.
I'll say with Renwick's ability to read all writing, you can decipher it pretty well. It's kind of a mixture between some magical runes and abyssal, but a lot of you can kind of determine it is a protective boundary for the settlement known as Bloat Boat. And it is just kind of you do notice as you kind of with that high roll for sure. The mist seems to avoid this pole, and at sharp angles even. With that roll in the 30s, Logos, you notice even through this kind of misty haze that kind of obscures your vision after 30 or so feet, there appears to be torchlight in the not too far distance. Looks like a homestead or two, perhaps. And something else you notice, particularly because your kind of your ranger or druid kind of senses kick in. You look at this pillar, and you're looking at where this light seems to be coming from the mist. And as you kind of look down, there are several puddles from the rain the day before. Even though the puddles kind of intersect on what side of the barrier they're on, it looks like it's basically forming a triangle. You can see that this is one pillar that connected to at least like two other pillars through some sort of arcane means that form like a massive triangle. And the water on the inside of this triangle is clear. It looks clean. It looks fresh. You could see into it. You could see a bit of plant life growing. The water on your side of the barrier is thick, black, oozy muck. Like, not anywhere close to being healthy. But yeah, alas, you have come across some sort of barrier meant to protect some sort of settlement. And the settlement is, once again, at least on the sign, it's called Bloat Boat. And yeah, do what you will with that. How do you guys proceed?
Well, it looks
So,
like we're getting close to being where we need to be.
so is it protective in the sense that like protection from good and evil type thing, or is it like just a dome around it?
The runes specifically ward against undead.
Well, then we
Huh.
should be good to go, right?
Well, that seems convenient. Seems we might be able to find some.
But again, this is like the pillar that you guys have discovered is just the tip of the triangle, and it is a foot or two off the road. You can continue to travel up the road and ignore this a settlement if you'd like, but there does appear to be a small settlement not far away.
Should we go see if they have good food? I'm sorry, Gladiator,
Yes.
but the stuff you make is bland as fuck.
It's fair. I took prestidigitation at level 11 just to flavor the food a little bit better.
Look, it's magically created food. It's not my fault. I don't actually cook it. Just pops out of thin air. So yeah,
Oh, we're not mad at you, but bland is bland.
yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
a little mad.
It's a little underbaked.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go see if they have some actual real food. Might be able to get some information too. I mean, maybe since we're getting hopefully closer towards our destination, somebody might actually know where it is.
Fuck the info. Let's get some salt.
So you guys head in the direction of the settlement then?
Yes.
As you guys kind of try to make your way there, you realize pretty quickly this settlement is centered in a large pond, a large body of water. It would appear that you're going to have to swim.
Does the water at least look clean like it did in the puddle?
The inside of the rune, like the inside of this triangle, this protective barrier, the water does look clean. However, it is flowing. It seems to be not stale or stagnant water. It is kind of moving about.
How far away is the island from the shore?
It's kind of hard to see with the obscuring fog, but probably somewhere 250, 300 feet. Not far.
Ooh. Okay.
Blade, would you like to accompany me over there and see if we could maybe find a boat for our big dragonborn friend here?
We don't need to go anywhere because I have a foldable boat.
I was gonna say, didn't somebody pick up a portable boat at some point?
I thought somebody did, or I was thinking we should have one.
Nope,
Well, look at that.
I have one.
How many people can fit in it? Because I can also walk on water.
I can fit a fuck ton of people in this thing if I want.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable boat.
Yeah, I'm going to sail in the paper boat.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm at home in the water, but I'd much rather have my ass toted out there.
Yeah, I kind of sink like a rock.
So Blade, I believe you do. I mean, you might have to read the item, but I believe it's like your choice of like something canoe sized or like sloop sized. I think it is your call. So
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're right. There's 3 different sizes. There's basically like a canoe size. And I just want to go overboard. I don't want like a full blown yacht, but
No, we need
I
the
don't
yacht. We
want
need
to.
to roll up in a yacht.
No, fuck it. Let's go with the yacht. How deep is the water?
you gonna jump in and find out?
Oh no, I don't like that. No, let's go the medium size. I'm gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna have to be the second one. I'm gonna go ahead and just say pull out this little wooden box of mine. It kind of measures to 12 inches long and 6 inches wide and 6 inches deep. And it kind of looks like a boat. And I'm gonna just say, Mr. Boat, would you please float? And out from my hand is gonna pop out. I'm gonna like throw it out into the water, and out from it is gonna kind of blow up into this 24-foot long, 8-foot wide, and 6-foot deep ship.
And yeah, from your hands bursts this vessel, seaworthy and all, kind of bobs and weaves on the waves as it's kind of dropped into the water, ready for boarding.
Yep, and it has rowing seats, 5 sets of oars, a steering oar, an anchor, a deck cabin, and a mast with a square sail. And it can hold up to 15 medium creatures comfortably.
Excellent. Perfect. You guys see this wondrous item kind of erupt from Blade's hands, and I guess make your way on to this boat. What is there? Is there a name placard there, Blade? What is the name of your ship?
The Silver Thrust.
Perfect. So, as you guys make your way towards the settlement, I mean, Logos could potentially walk on the water if he'd like. You don't have to ride on the boat.
No, that's a level 3 spell slot that I will save.
Okay. So, as you guys kind of make your way out onto the water, as you get close, muffled at first, but certainly getting louder, sounds of music, sounds of revelry. As you approach, get into the center of this body of water, there appear to be several boats and rafts, kind of makeshift guys, kind of tied to this one larger structure. It looks as if many boats have been kind of lashed or tied together to kind of make this like superficial floating island, if you will. And there are a handful of buildings. There are lights on in several of them, and a few of them you hear music flowing and the sounds of revelry, the sounds of laughter, and the clinking of cups. And as you guys kind of approach, approach the docks. There is an older man sitting out on the dock, throwing a fishing line out. And as you guys kind of approach, his jaw just drops. His eyes go wide. He, just is like stunned as he watches you guys kind of pull in and tie off. He says nothing. He's pretty scrawny and kind of pale, but a bit of a scrappy kind of mustache and mutton chops. But he kind of just looks on stunned as he's half fishing as you guys kind of approach. But you do pull up to a dock, and you see it is essentially a small village or town of just lashed together boats. So tell me how you kind of proceed from here.
Well, since we're showmen and Blade has such a nice boat, I feel like Renwick's on the bow holding the rope to tie off the boat. And as they get close, he's just doing like the king of the world pose and kind of jumps off the ship and swings down on that rope onto the dock and ties it off.
Nice. Give me an acrobatics check.
Oh boy. That is a 21.
Pulled off flawlessly. The bit of a breeze even kicks up at the end to kind of tussle your hair as you look back and throw your party a wink.
Glader's gonna try and copy what he did.
You're gonna crash through the fucking dock, and
also
I cannot
give me
wait.
an acrobatics check.
Acrobatic? Oh shit! Oh, that's a 19.
Can I give him disadvantage by the gleam of my smile?
Can I inspire him?
I'll say they negate, Despite Renwick kind of like at the last minute trying to cut the rope you're swinging on somehow, and Blade trying to steady you with the force, you do manage to pull off something similar, just not quite as glorious as Renwick. You don't swing quite as far. You're despite your weight and mass, you're just not quite as agile as old Renwick.
That's fair. I'll kind of like stumble as I land, and then just kind of like put my like hands on my hips and stand up straight. Yeah. All right. That was I meant to do that. That was on purpose.
Don't worry, big guy. You'll get there.
Learn from the best. And he'll flash Renwick wink.
Renwick blushes.
All right, so as you guys kind of dock, how do you proceed? In your immediate vicinity, you see 2 or 3 buildings, lights on. Some of them appear to be domiciles, but there is quite a ruckus coming from a couple of others. The sounds of merriment, music, and drinking.
Well, this sounds a lot more lively than the places we've run into down here. Reckon we could all use a drink, and probably best place to meet the locals and figure out what's what.
Yeah, we should probably walk in with our hands completely exposed and open. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if they were a shoot first, ask questions later type mentality out here. Blade, why don't you walk in front? People seem to like you.
Perfect. I'll do it. And just to kind of retcon a little bit, the third command for my the folding boat there was only to return it. So there's only 2 sizes. So the name of this boat is actually the Crab Catcher. But so I will say crabs return as we dock and return the vessel to its normal size and put it in my backpack.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And I'll go ahead and lead the way there to the, I guess, a nearby tavern or inn or someplace that we can get some info.
Excellent. Yeah, you follow the sound of music and laughter And before long, you find yourselves looking at what looks to be a houseboat that has been converted into a local tavern. And as you guys proceed, you guys enter this tavern, though it is nameless. As you guys kind of walk in these swivel doors, the music stops, the cheering, the revelry, the laughter, everything cut short. Complete silence as you look over the crowd of people in this bar. You see what appear to be a ton of pirates. You see cutlasses. You see the occasional peg leg and eye patch. You see some people that look like they've seen this a bit too much of the salt of the ocean. They're dried and cracked skin, and they most of them lean, hard-working folk. A lot of them armed. So you see a lot of cutlasses. You see a lot of boot daggers. A lot of leather vests and bandanas and whatnot. And as the music stops and everybody kind of turns and looks at you, inspecting the newcomers, there is a tense silence.
Renwick immediately calls out, my friends and I could use a drink. And then he gestures to the entire bar and he says, all of my friends. And just makes his way to the bar, and he's just going to buy the entire bar around to try to get off on the right foot.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check as you kind of make your way to the bar.
Can I aid with that? I was going to as soon as we kind of walked in, be like, no need to be speechless amongst the legend, and then kind of start jumping up on a fucking table and start playing.
Oh, for sure. Go ahead and you can give Renwick the help action and toss out a performance check as well.
Highest is a 19 for me.
The music kind of starts up again, and everybody goes back to their conversation. There's cheersing, there's laughing. They kind of look at you skeptically, but you seem, accepted. The silence broken as you make your way to the bar. Blade,
Meow, meow.
with a 25 performance check, you step onto the. Why don't you tell me? You step onto this table and describe to me your performance here in this moment. Are you going lute, flute, banjo? Like, what do you got, and how do you proceed?
I'm gonna pull out my old trusty lute that I've had since the OG there, and kind of jump up on the table and be like, "Listen, my pirates, you no need to be irate. Please, just be gentle and calm. We're friendly, we're not foes. We will not bring you any woes."
Excellent. The local musician kind of stops playing what appears to be a bagpipe, actually, and you get some cheers and a huzzah, and a couple of people call out various songs of the Shadowfell that you may or may not be familiar with, but they're hollering out for requests, more, and encore. Renwick, as this kind of transpires and you make your way to the bar, this kind of an older, grizzled man greets you. He's got a scar over one eye and an eye patch over that scarred eye, and he kind of looks at you. Well, we don't get newcomers here often. Welcome. We're simply known as the Bastards. He kind of gestures to the crowd, and those around him are like, "Hear, hear!" And he says, "So, what's your poison? You in for the strong stuff? I got the good whiskey, stolen from a Lich's crypt by rumor, but I've also got I don't know, 100 gallons of bathtub mead, if that's what you want.
Well, my friends and I have come a long way, and I'd like to treat them to a pretty good drink there. I think we've earned it. So I'll take 5 of your finest for myself and my friends, and then around for the rest of the bar as promised.
He kind of tallies her up. He says, all right. He kind of looks around. The bar is pretty packed. You're looking at probably 50 individuals kind of hanging out. But yeah, he tallies you up and says, well, some of them are drinking the top stuff, some of them not. I mean, you're looking at probably an even 65.
Well, that's going to take an awful lot of effort to serve all these patrons, so here's a cool 75.
Yeah, I'll throw on top of that, sir. Let's get everyone the top stuff.
As you guys kind of throw down your gold, he kind of looks down to it and then back to you lot. I hope you have something more substantial. He pushes it back across the counter to you.
Blade will look at from afar at the bartender and be like, "How about more business?" And bring in, start another round of singing.
Yeah, give me a persuasion check there, Blade.
I am loving Blade's newfound confidence in these situations. Like he's so quiet when we're on the road, and then he just kicks in the fucking door of a tavern and becomes hot shit.
Yeah, 21.
Even so, well, keep him playing till the Dusk Mother shows her face again. And I'll send everybody around to the cheap stuff, and you lot, a couple of rounds on the house. Fair.
Do you want to stay here, Blade?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That was a question for me?
Well, if you play until the Dusk Mother shows back up.
Oh, well, then
you
I
play
will.
until dawn, and he'll send around to the bar and give you and your mates a couple on the house.
I mean, we've been playing or not playing, but traveling for days on end. What's another 24 hours? Or, what's another few more hours? And Blade will start kind of singing a little song. A captain's grin, a gleam of gold, in search of treasures, secrets old. Through storms and squalls, they carved their name. The bastards, fame, a pirate's claim.
Oh man, that combined with your performance check prior, the crowd kind of erupts around you, and they are pretty generous. Some of them dip into their coin purses and throw you some coin. Blade, one thing you notice right away: it is not coins of gold or silver or copper. These coins look to be made of bone, and they have a teeny tiny skull implanted in the center. And with that performance, go ahead and roll me 3d10 and add your charisma modifier to that. $29 bone coins.
So Blade will kind of bend down and pick up the coins and be like, "Oh, not exactly what I was expecting, but it'll do. These are interesting."
A aside from that, yeah, the party kind of commences. You guys see a few of these pirates are smoking cigars. Some of them are playing cards. Many of them are drinking and being rowdy. A lot of them are kind of captivated by Blade's performing good music or even varied music. Just other musicians aside from the one or two the village seems to have. Really throws down the entertainment factor. And as Blade kind of said, a couple of dozen people hear a fancy new tune they haven't heard, and suddenly they're putting down fishing poles and making their way into this little tavern. And before long, it's basically standing room only, elbow to elbow. And Blade is just kind of performing for this throng of pirates who occasionally will toss him a coin or try to cheers him from across the room. How do you guys kind of proceed in this moment? The barkeep lays down a round of meads as well as a shot of whiskey for each individual member of the party. Says, I got one. Keep 'em going. And he kind of he shines a glass as he kind of watches Blade kind of fangirls with the rest of his pirates.
So how the hell did you end up here with a business?
Well, that's why they call us the bastards. It's never our choice to come here. Some of us are natively born here. Some of us cursed, or tricked, or trapped by various nefarious individuals. But we believe in being free. We're not going to be ran by some damn undead monstrosities, only out for our flesh or our blood. Where we control our fate. And just feels better that way, lots of within the ruins here everything's all right, but there's some real good natural resources that we can get to nearby anyways, aside from the clean water in the lake. Provides a little bit of plant life, a little bit of food, helps us kind of sustain. The wards keep the mist at bay. It's not a bad gig. There's lean seasons, sure, but I don't know. It just kind of happened. This was my father's boat and his father's boat before that. And back then, there was only maybe a dozen boats lashed together. Now there's some like upwards of 30, 40, something like that. It's a big lake. It goes far, but this is our little lagoon, if you know what I mean. Why are you guys here? He points to you lot. Specifically, he kind of eyes both Locris and Gladier. Like, you notice that in this pirate crowd of these people, all humans. No dwarves, no elves, no dragonborn, no tieflings. All humans.
Well, you see, there's this vampire who killed our friend's mother, and we wish to repay him the favor.
Excellent. Bloodsuckers are terrible fucks. I hope you kill them all. Here's to you. He pours himself a shot and kind of cheers you.
Yeah, we've already killed quite a few of them, but we're working on more. That's for sure.
Several patrons hear you say that, and they kind of lean in. What? You fucking killed some? Like, tell us how, where, what'd you use, what do you got? Well, can you teach us? Show, like you immediately cause like a bit of a stir at the bar. A small crowd of individuals kind of surrounds you. You killed them? Like, I've missed one before, but you killed it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too big of a deal. I mean, not sure if any of you guys have ever been anywhere other than Shadowfell, but if you've heard of the Alliance Isles, there was a couple vampires terrorizing that place, and then we kind of scared them off and followed them down here. And once they go into that mist form, you just gotta find where they sleep, and that's how you take them out for good.
Their eyes kind of narrow. How do we know you and this guy, they point to Locris, aren't monsters? I mean, you have scales and teeth. That fucking guy has some pretty big horns. Should we be worried?
I mean, I'm
Also,
not
that
a monster.
halfling's hand is fucking weird.
Okay, I will give you that. His hand is fucking weird, but that's nothing. That's birth defect. He's not a monster. Um, and we're not monsters either. I'm just a dragonborn. Just that's just what I am. We're not monsters. We're just different kind of people.
Give me a persuasion check, Gladier.
Oh, okay. I think I'm actually not bad at those. Sorry, one sec, guys. Fold some laundry. All right, persuasion is +8, I believe. If I remember it correctly. That's a 10 on the die. Hopefully, it is a +8. No, +7. So 17.
They kind of become less tense. They're like, all right, well, we'll take your word for it. For now, I suppose. Another round. These guys are kind of drinking heavily. They order a round of shots, and include one or two for you as well, Gladier.
Hey, yeah, he'll take the. Oh, he'll take one, but he's still wary of the surroundings, so he's not trying to get like drunk or anything. He's still trying to keep his senses about him. So he'll take a shot with him, but he's slowly sipping on the whiskey that Renwick bought, so he can stay vigilant.
Okay, as you take a shot of this whiskey, it burns like whiskey, but it tastes bad. It tastes like ash.
Oh, yeah, he's just kind of not trying to offend the bar full of people that he's barely convinced he's not a monster. He's gonna try and not let it show on his face that he did not enjoy the taste. He's just, yeah, that was a fine whiskey. Thank you very much for the shot.
They cheers and huzzah and continue drinking. They kind of try to get you to regale them with more tales, talking specifically about undead or vampires or even your fancy holy symbol.
Yeah, he'd entertain them a bit. He'd tell them about how they when they first encountered Nayla and Baracus. No, not yeah, Baracus. Um, how they fought him off and killed all their minion vampires and then burned the house down. He's gonna leave out the part where they accidentally killed uh prisoners by burning the house down. Um,
Best part.
yeah, but not a good part to convince them I'm not a monster.
Fair.
Um, yeah, so tell them that whole story, how they, um, and then maybe briefly talk about his deity if they're asking about his holy symbol amulets. How he's the one side with horror on it, horror's face, and then the other with the symbol of Palor. Just kind of entertain them, small talk, kind of telling stories, bar stories, and whatnot.
Okay, yeah. As you kind of regale these pirates, and they're interested, hang on your every word, kind of trying to piece things together. Definitely, kind of talking yourselves up about some of your ventures. What are the rest of you doing? Blade is thoroughly entertaining this crowd, while Gladier has taken a handful of pirates under his wing to regale with tales of the sands of justice. Renwick, Locris, Logos. What are the three of you doing in this moment?
I'd imagine Logos is kind of just posted up like in a corner, seeing as this is a kind of a weird place, just kind of being observant, making sure nothing weird is happening to any of his friends, and just sipping on the whiskey that Renwick bought him, and just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Okay, give
Yeah,
me a perception check real quick, Logos.
I'm gonna post up with him and be looking for any sort of like symbols or runes or like strangeness or like markings on their clothes. Just try to like really take stock. If these guys are a group known as the Bastards, then they probably have like a, I don't know, like a crest or a defining feature.
Okay, yeah.
So
Go ahead and give me a perception check as well. What was your perception check, Logos?
16.
As you're posted up looking around, it seems, aside from all of them being human, so a lot of them having some serious kind of wounds, you notice a variety of not only like daggers and scimitars, things that pirates wield, but also you notice a few guys have like rock hammers and mining like pickaxes strapped to their back. Some of these guys are dirty and sooty, and they're, some of them are gambling, some of them are drinking, but for the most part, it doesn't seem like anybody's being threatening. Nobody's being particularly shady. A few, there looks to be like a handful of very, very, very drunk pirates who are like so inebriated they keep like falling over things or crashing into people or just splurting nonsense. But also, there seems to be a handful of pirates playing some sort of dice and or card game. There are dice on the table. There are cards on the table. There is a bunch of these bone chips on the table, and everybody looks to be like really tense. They're sweating, eyebrows. It's like a high stakes game or something. Renwick with a 22. These bastards, as it were. There does seem to be like a pirate flag style logo that is recurring. You see on jackets and even like a kind of a torn up flag hanging behind the bar. It is just a black flag with a white scimitar placed across it. And that seems to be their symbol, the symbol of these the bastards, as well as like the town itself. You would have recognized that logo hanging on, the flags flying on a couple of different houses, as well as maybe nailed to a wall here or there. But it does seem to be a reoccurring kind of thing. As Logos and Renwick kind of survey the crowd, Locris, what are you doing?
I think Locris is just kind of staring in his drink, thinking about Pike here, his dream, just trying to get it all adjusted in his head.
All right, as you kind of gaze into your drink for a bit, Blade continues to jam on while Gladiator continues to regale these pirates with tales of your guys' ventures and things. And after a while, you hear a bit of an eruption of excitement and disdain at the same time. And it appears that one of the tables where this gambling has been going on, somebody won real big and somebody lost real hard. You hear a couple of shouts, "Yes! Fuck yeah! Suck on that!" And then the loser kind of hangs his head in shame. He's like, "No, this can't. I'll be back. We gotta get you." And as he's kind of looking shifty-eyed and sweaty, they're like, "You know the rules, mate. You gotta pay." And he's like, "No, but wait!" And a couple of these pirates move and grab him, and he's like, "No, I've got more." Oh, like, "Yeah, sure you do, Svelte. Sure you do." and they drag him outside the bar, and he protests and kicks and screams the entire time. But alas, they remove him from the bar.
What's his punishment to be?
Well, he lost. You know, you can wager the coins you got, but bone coins are the only currency here. And how do you think we get him? He bet his own bones, and he lost. Now, by our wagering, somewhere between 80 and 120 bones in the human skeleton. So, they drag him on down yonder, put him in a cage, and once a month, we feed it. And then it leaves us alone. And, yeah, it's kind of how we've carved out our freedom. It's kind of a bummer. We have to have a monthly ritual sacrifice, but at the same time, stay on your toes.
What?
Keep yourself fit.
What is it?
Well, to be honest, not real sure what it is. It comes from the dark, inky blackness from beyond. But it sure does look a lot like, well, your friend's hand, really.
Hey, Renwick.
Just in, I should head that way. He'll kind of nod at Logus and walk over.
Can
So,
Logan kind of like sneak, like just slink out like a little bit towards the door and kind of just see what those, where they're taking that guy and or what they're doing to him?
Yeah, give me a perception check as they haul him off.
Renwick, apparently they feed idiots to a creature that looks a lot like your unofficial boss.
Oh, well, that sounds fun. Normally like to keep my distance. I'm more of a pen pal. But suppose we might have stumbled upon something here. Or at least something akin to it. Well, when I get some downtime, perhaps I can commune, see if I can gather any information from the beast.
Logos with the 27. They haul him down several buildings to like the edge of the docks. They put him in a cage, like a metal cage, and then they suspend that metal cage over the water. And then they leave. And he sits there and sobs. The bartender kind of turns back to Locris. Yep. Only eats the flesh. Leaves the bones every time. It's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, mine is a bone broth. I wouldn't really eat a bone either. Maybe the marrow. Maybe human marrow sucks.
I wouldn't eat the marrow of these lots. Full of rum, whiskey, parasites, bad bread. Yeah.
Well, as horrible as all this is, it is rather impressive that you've created a currency and an economy that you can consistently just pump more currency into by reoccurring sacrifices, and it doesn't destabilize the market. It's fascinating.
Oh, like I said, there's lean months, but what are you gonna do? Dark entities and all that. He kind of looks to your hand.
Yes, the economy and whatnot.
We don't take gold, silver, copper, mostly because the undead, they want that kind of stuff. You accumulate enough wealth, You bet your ass that's a good way to get a vampire to come find where you're at.
Well, that's good to know. It'd be easier if they come to us rather than us looking for them all the time.
He looks at you kind of like horrified, like, no, kid, vampires are terrible creatures. Don't fuck around. I mean, you've clearly got your own problems, but geez. He gestures to your hand.
Oh, I mean, yes, I've certainly got my own problems, but I don't know. We have a certain proclivity for making vampires disappear, so sort of learn not to fear them at this point. One of those we are the things that go bump in the night situations. He kind of winks at him.
He nods solemnly. Oh, excellent.
So, what exactly is this beast?
I don't
What
know. I've never seen
what are your
it.
people? You've never seen it, but you sacrifice to it, so your people must have some form of name or nickname, even something you refer to it as.
You did it already. Just it. We feed it.
Simply it. And how long has it existed? Did you choose to set up shop here, or was it already here when you set up shop?
Well, I have. Things have always been this way in my lifetime, but the rumors, they say, when our kind first started this little venture, we used to fight it, and some months they would win, and there would be no cost, no toll taken. But other months they would not win, and rather than losing a single member of the populace, we would lose a substantial amount. 20, 30, 40, sometimes even 50% of the living population in a single day. And so we come to find that it typically only comes our way when it is hungry, and that it has a particular taste, the flesh of man. So we feed it, and it leaves us be. We treat it with respect and do not attack it, and it seems to reciprocate.
I don't know about you, but I'd be interested to see where Logus's moral compass falls on this one.
You know, that's actually a pretty good point. He's going to get real philosophical.
Fuck them.
Never mind.
Logus is just kind of sitting outside watching.
Get a
What the
few
hell's gonna
drinks in him,
happen
and
in attack?
the moral compass really starts spinning. Am I right?
They're a pirate group known as the Bastards. They're probably no good.
Well, can you blame them? Bastards mean they hadn't had a father, with no father figure. No wonder they turned out like this.
Great. Now Logus is gonna ponder about that for a while.
Who knows? Maybe a dragon ate their dad.
Too soon. Actually, we don't know if a Dragonade is dead.
The Shadow Dragon terrorized our community just like all the others. Many legends of dragons eating fathers, he questions.
Oh, you've seen the Shadow Dragon.
Oh no, not in my time. But yes,
Uh,
there was rumored once that a Shadow Dragon had bested even the Lord of Shadowfell and managed to escape this plane, even against his will.
huh. Well, that is interesting. So there's a legend that says the Shadow Dragon that potentially Logus's father was tracking down bested your patron, Logos. I don't say that out loud. I I guess I did say it out loud. It's a little too late.
The pirates have helped sneak an extra shot or two of whiskey in there, and yeah, you might be talking a little buzzed.
Yeah.
Or by that time, Amorphous had already moved in. Who knows how long he's been here setting everything up? I mean, I doubt all those plans with what happened to your family and what
That's
happened with the Gray happened in a year. I'm sure it's been in the works for a while.
very true.
Who knows? Maybe Amorphous let it out, either on purpose or on accident.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go ask him.
I mean, that sounds like the quickest way to get the information.
Barkeep, do you have rooms that we'd be able to sleep in? We've kind of been sleeping on hard ground for a while and would like a change of pace.
I mean, I could shoo a couple of livestock out the way, but I'm afraid all I have to offer is a private room with a pile of hay. Nothing fancy. But tell you what, your bard friend over there has made a pretty bit of bone coin. Handful of those should call the tab good.
I'm sure Blade won't mind. I want one for a collection, but once we get back home, I don't think they'll spend very well.
Yeah, I can't imagine we're really going to use him outside of this town. Blade, what do you say? Oh, he's over there playing still. Well, I guess we can.
How many do you think can fit in this pile of hay?
Bone coins?
No. If we're gonna sleep in the stalls, how many can we fit in there?
You could fit the entire party in probably 2, maybe 3 piles of hay. Rather, yeah. They're meant for larger critters. They do have it looks to be some livestock, a weird hairless type of breed of cow. They have a couple of them on deck. They're willing to move out for you guys, but it is kind of a large pile of hay. You guys could potentially get 2-3 people per pile.
All right, so our party plus maybe a few other individuals.
Potentially, yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, I'll wander and be like, barkeep, I'll take the haystack for the night, and I'll give them all 29 of the bone coins, and I'll say, and whoever else would like to join myself and the party, please come forth.
Give me a persuasion check there, Blade.
Oh, God. About to have a party orgy as the rest of the party tries to sleep.
Yeah, you are. 28.
At first, it's a little shy, a little timid kind of crowd, but a couple of individuals do make their way kind of closer to you, kind of peek around, as the barkeep preps these stalls. With a 28, go ahead and roll me a d8 plus your charisma modifier there, Blade.
I'm sorry, it was a D8, you said?
Correct. Plus your charisma modifier.
$17.
So almost half the bar is kind of, looks like they are going to try to take you up on your offer. A lot of.
Wait, no, because I want to sleep.
Perfect.
His charisma modifier would have a max of 5.
Oh shit! No, yeah,
Oh.
sorry. I was thinking my whole charisma. So that's a +5.
That's still 9.
Okay, 9. 9 individuals make their way over to you.
Perfect.
One appears to be a woman. She is bald. She has a nose piercing and an eye patch and a peg leg.
Terry, where is he?
She's a bit older, but she's got the leather cuts of the bastards on her back for now. But the other 8 individuals are all men, various degrees. You see some standard pirates with some big scruffy beards. You see a couple of scrawnier, kind of emo-looking pirates, and even a couple wearing some bandanas and eye patches. You see the occasional hook hand and a lot of, we'll say, cutlasses kind of dangling about. But yeah, a small crowd does kind of gather around Blade, seemingly intent on following him to the room.
Not exactly the lot I was looking for. Yeah, I'll take the eye patch woman, and yeah, I guess the rest can follow.
So you kind of go to this back room, and a couple of these very kind of like biker-looking pirates are like, "Fuck, hell yeah, brother!" and just kind of like rips his shirt off. A foul stench of a salty, unwashed body assaults your nostrils. Seems very much like a gym locker room all of a sudden.
I always do love the smell of the ocean. Wouldn't you agree, Renrick?
Sometimes it's a little ripe, overly fishy. He kind of cringes.
Well, we could have used some of that salt for our food. I do declare. Perhaps this will spice things up a little bit. And I'll make my way to the haystack.
All right. So you make your way to the haystack, and some of these patrons follow upon Blade's request. In fact, Blade and his patrons kind of are the first to head back to the haystack. With Blade and his guests, the entire back room is basically full. There's not going to be a lot of sleeping room for the party, at least in this neck of the woods for the time being. So, as Blade goes to hang out with some of his guests, how do you guys proceed in this moment?
Well,
I'll just need 3 minutes.
I'm not going to the stalls. That's for damn sure.
Are we, Gladiator, are we supposed to go with them?
You are.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If they're doing what I think they're doing, I'm promised to another. My sweet Tardok.
Well, think of it this way. You didn't stop the first time you shot a bow, right? You kept practicing and you watched others shoot bows so that you could do a better job. Well, you could go learn how to shoot a bow better.
I was actually very good at shooting a bow right away. They said I was a prodigy of some sort due to my father being an expert hunter. I don't know.
They tell all the Make-A-Wish kids that.
Jesus.
Ooh,
Oh,
Christ.
I'm just
You
saying
can
the
hear
analogy
Blade say
does-
that from like fucking 2 haystacks over. Christ.
yeah,
The orgy
well,
comes to a screeching halt.
Yo, what the fuck?
Gladiator's gonna walk up to the bartender. I don't. Yeah, he gave you a whole lot of those bone coins. Can I get? Is it okay if I just is there a fireplace in here? of some sort?
There looks to be like
I mean, I know
sconces
some
and like burning torches and stuff, but no, not like a fireplace proper.
that makes sense. This boat. Is it all right if I just, sit in the corner and just rest my eyes for a minute while our performing friend performs in his other manner?
I mean, I wouldn't be a pirate if I just gave shit away for free. Clean up a little bit around here, and I'll make sure nobody calls the guard or something on you while you sleep it off in here. But put the chairs back and maybe run a mop. You'll be all right. I'll let you sleep in the lobby. But do me a solid. I'm old. I don't want to have to get out there.
Glader's gonna sigh deeply and then start cleaning up around the bar quickly before sitting down in the corner and leaning back in a chair.
Gladiator, it's bad. Like oppressively, like you don't even know where to start. Like there's moldy floorboards. There's floorboards that are like bent and creaking up. There is piles of puke and urine. There are people sometimes laying in their piles of puke and urine, and there is for sure more than one pile of shit in this room. Like it is a filthy tavern.
I'm gonna kind of make a show of it, look like I'm cleaning up, but I'm not touching shit and piss and vomit.
As long as you pretend to do so, the bartender just goes about doing his thing. Yeah, he watches you for only a few seconds, and he'll figure it out. He goes back to doing his thing.
And then I will find the cleanest looking chair and sit down.
You probably have to push a drunk pirate that's snoring loudly off of one, but yeah, that's probably the cleanest one.
Yeah.
So, anything any of you need to do in particularly as the night drones on? Any last minute rituals before claiming your long rest?
None for me.
I'm gonna take my coin purse and shove it up into my breastplate, so it's between my breastplate and my chest. So it might be uncomfortable, but I'm tired of getting my shit stolen, and we're in a fucking bar full of drunk pirates. So I'm gonna shove it up there, and then just have my kopesh in hand, laying across my lap as I try and sleep, holding on to the tilt because I don't want anyone to fucking steal that either. Fall asleep, gripping my sword with my coins shoved up between my armor.
Excellent, for sure, as you kind of situate yourself and your belongings to make sure you're not robbed again. Yeah, good call. And so, as you guys kind of settle down for the evening, it seems like might be. Let me check the time here. I don't want to keep you guys too evening. What do you think, East Coasters? Should we put a bookmark in it now, or do you got another half hour or so in you?
I could probably stop here and be fine. I'm pretty tired myself, but if you guys want to push on, I can rally.
I'm in the same boat. I can go either way. Yeah.
Well, if we found a good bookmark point, don't want to get into something exciting and then have to stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wait for that Kraken attack until later.
Yeah, that's probably a good
All
starting
right.
point.
Well, yeah. Let's call it a night then, fellas. Yeah, we'll put a bookmark here.
Real quick, since we're doing the one shot next week, Logus, what's the character criteria for your one shot?
Ooh, yes.
Oh, I'm missing Logus's first one shot.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really thought about it, but I'm gonna say anything. Anything's kind of open right now. It's got a kind of maybe a dark, pretty much the same as everyone's kind of range, but a kind of dark medieval kind of flair to it. Think like Ravenloft type stuff too.
Well, what level and
Peg
how
leg.
do you want us to do stats?
We'll do stats the same that we always do, and we'll do
Level 5 is usually a pretty good general.
yeah. I was thinking level 5, but I didn't want to keep it too low. But yeah, we can do level 5. If I change it up, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So I'll build up and then we'll laugh at Alec.
I'm about to take you on the most epic adventure ever, but you can't talk about it. Can't tell them about it.
And I'm going to record it,
Sounds
but I'm going to
pretty
put it on a Patreon, so you have to pay to listen to it.
We're gonna have to either come up with a total group concept or absolutely ridiculous characters just to really like throw him some curveballs on his first run.
If you don't give him shit about a guild hall his first run, I'm gonna be pissed.
And somebody has to have speak with animals, as is tradition.
And Terry will be joining.
Also, kind of real quick before we depart, I kind of wanted to. I gotta say this like on the actual feed once or twice, so I might mention this in another session too. We do have a small following that is kind of like growing. There is a handful of nerds out there who are following us for our story that I've got a couple emails from who are pretty cool. But also, I've got a handful of fellow nerds who are following us kind of randomly and intermittently because they are actively, plagiarizing, stealing all of our kick-ass ideas and things, So it's like, yeah, I'm fucking stoked to help out other people. But I did get a couple of emails, and so I wanted to say, like, on the feed, there is a YouTube version of Tater Brain Pod. If you guys want to see the pictures and like the maps and stuff that we kind of occasionally drop in the feed, and also there is an audio only version on Spotify. So that was kind of the main emails. Was like, hey, how do I see these pictures? Or hey, YouTube's not really the most convenient thing to listen to, and so I realize I've never actually said it on the feed. So for the small following that we do have, Taterbrain Pod on YouTube and Taterbrain Pod on Spotify for the audio-only version. So that being said, I think I'm ready to get out of here, boys. Thanks again, and keep in touch on the socials. We'll do this crazy thing again soon, yeah?
Hell yeah.
Fuck
To our
yeah.
small following, I just want to say I love you.
Yes,
Now,
we
let
love-
Logus, that
Love you
means you
guys.
can't. Logus, that means you can't show us your Sturge fleshlight demonstration. Just
I think that means he
say.
that's gonna be
We'll
on the
make.
picture.
That's just
We're
on
gonna
the
make.
Patreon, bro. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
that's
big.
We're gonna have to make that a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Be on the OnlyFans.
What?
First 1,000 viewers, Logus will make a Sturge-based OnlyFans.
Full nude.
Handcrafted.
Tasteful though.
Classy,
Tasteful.
classy shots only for sure.
One size fits all.
Classy, but like you're not trying too hard. You just are naturally that way.
It's gonna be like a 5-second video though, so don't get excited.
I'm excited.
Stoked. Hashtag stoked. Hashtag 1,000.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
All right, bye.
Later,
Have a
guys.
good night, y'all.
Good night, guys.